Hi there, I'm Michelle and welcome to Yoga Space. I am going to do a short runner specific yoga session with you today, so feel free to join in. So let's begin. So you're going to come to a comfortable seated position. Use a block if you have one or a cushion, place it under your bottom so we can lift up our hips and allow them to open comfortably. What I would say here is pick your least dominant side so that we can start to balance ourselves out a little bit more. Okay, from here we're just going to close the eyes, hands come to your knees, sit up lovely and straight. I'm going to count you in for some breath work. So I'll count you in, we'll breathe for a 1, 2, 3 count, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale all the way up to 5, and then we'll reverse it so you know where we're going. So let's close the eyes and let's begin. Take an inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Allow your breath to return to its usual pattern. Take a moment here with your eyes closed to set an intention for today's practice. It might be to be grateful for showing up today, or perhaps to enjoy what your body can do and not focus on what it can't do. And then when you're ready, open up the eyes and we will begin. So, take the cross-legged in the other position. We're going to inhale, arms are going to come up. And as we exhale, right hand comes down and we take a lovely side body stretch here. Gaze comes towards the ceiling. Inhale back to where we started. Exhale, arm comes up. We go to the left side. Gaze comes towards the ceiling. Feel that side body opening up. And then back up to neutral. We're going to roll our shoulders back and down. I know when we're running we have a lot of tension stored here, so it's really good for us to get some mobility in here. And then we're going to take a couple of shoulder rolls, so draw your neck down. We're going to send right ear to right shoulder, through centre, left ear to left shoulder, and back again. Take a couple more of these at your own pace. Some clunking going on here. And then we'll take a couple back, nice and carefully. Don't want to crunch the neck. This is a lovely slow start. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to take that block out from where it was. We're going to come to our tabletop position. So checking our positioning here, we want to make sure that our wrist creases are parallel to the front of the mat, our shoulders are over our wrists, and our knees are underneath our hips. We're going to take a couple of cat-cows here. So moving from the pelvis, we're going to drop the tummy into our cow position. Push the mat away, gaze comes up. And then through the pelvis, rounding the spine,
Gaze comes towards navel, and we're going to push that mat away, spreading those shoulder blades. Push those shins down into the mat.
Inhale, gaze comes up, tummy drops. And then tummy pushes in, rounding through the spine, push those shins down. We'll take a couple more of those with your own breath. So we inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding through the spine. One more. Fantastic. We're going to come back to our neutral spine here. So our gaze is down towards the front of the mat, keeping our neck lovely and long. We're going to send that right leg out, connect those toes to the mat and push through that heel. Feel that stretch through the calf. Okay, we're going to engage those glutes and our core, and we're going to lift that leg up. We're going to send our left arm out, stretching through the hands, stretching through the heel. Really feel like someone's pulling you from both sides. Fantastic. Coming back to our tabletop position again. We're going to do the same on the other side. So engaging the core, engaging the glutes, we're going to send that left leg away, toes connect with the mat, pushing that heel away. Feel that calf muscle saying, thanks very much. Engage the glute to lift that leg. Right arm extends. And we're going to stretch from both sides. Fingertips stretching long, heel stretching back. Great. Coming back to our tabletop position. Good. From here, we're going to spider up those fingers and we're going to walk our fingers forward, sinking that chest lovely and low into our puppy pose, hips staying above our knees. Spider those fingertips back. We're walking back to where we started. Really good. Okay, we're going to go into our downward facing dog. So tuck under those toes, lift up those kneecaps, and we're going to send our chest towards our thighs. And then from here, we're going to be pushing the mat away while sending our sit bones lovely and high. Walk out those heels. If you have tight hamstrings, it's fine. Keep a bend in those knees. The intention is to keep our spine lovely and long. Okay, we're going to send our right leg up. So we're in our three-legged dog. We want to keep our hips level at this point. Okay, pushing the mat away. We're going to turn and stack our hips in our three-legged dog, and if you would like to, you can always bend that top knee. Oopsie. Lovely stretch down the front area of the hip there. Push that mat away. Draw that heel down towards the mat on the left leg. Okay, we're going to come back to our downward facing dog. We're going to repeat on the other side now. So left leg comes up. Keep those hips lovely and level. We're going to stack the hips. And then we're going to bend that knee, getting a lovely opening in the hip there. And through that side body as well, drawing that back heel down, so our right heel down towards the mat. Okay, coming back into our downward dog. Excellent. Okay, we're going to step our right foot forward through the gates of our hands. Sink that back knee down, untuck those toes. We're in our low lunge position here. So we want to make sure our knee doesn't overshoot our front ankle. We're going to send our hips down and forward. Arms can come up here. Lengthen through the spine, drawing out of the waist. Pinky fingers can roll in. Just going to spend a moment here. Almost visualize sending your breath towards your hips Every time we inhale, we just grow a little bit taller, and exhale, we're going to send ourselves forward and down into those hips. Your hips will thank you. Hands come to the mat. We're going to come back on that left knee now. So we're going to try and keep our hips over our knee. Turn the toes towards the ceiling on the right foot. We're going to be now in our half split. So we want to be over that front knee. Notice here, often what happens is that right hip will go forward. We want to draw it back into the body so our hips level. And we're just going to sink ourselves towards our toes. So we're kind of lengthening through the spine and visualizing coming closer to our toes here. It's not about what it looks, it's definitely about how it feels, okay? Forget Instagram, it's no good for us. So you should be feeling a stretch all the way up the back of the leg here. We're going to head back into our low lunge. Find that position again. Make sure your knee isn't overshooting your ankles. Arms come up again. Pinky fingers roll in, sinking those hips low to the mat. Two more breaths here. Hands come down, we're going into our half split again. So hips over our knee, our left knee, and we're going to point our right toes towards the ceiling. And we're just going to come over that front leg. Really nice. Okay, coming back. So we have our hands connected to the mat. We're going to tuck over the left toes. We're going to send that right foot back. We're in our plank pose now, okay? So we're pushing the mat away. Our wrist creases should be parallel to the front of the mat. We're pushing through the heels, lifting up the kneecaps, and we've engaged our core and our glutes. We're going to inhale, and our weight comes forward. Exhale, squeeze those elbows to the body, lowering down. Untuck the toes and squeeze those glutes together, and we're going to lift up. We're going to shine our heart forward, and we're going to do a big cheesy grin here because you've worked so hard. And then we're going to just lower ourselves back down again. Tuck those toes. We're going to go into downward facing dog. Remember, keep a bend in the knees if you start to get a rounded spine. It's all about the lengthening of the spine here. We should look like an upside down V from the side. Okay, we're going to take our left foot through our hands. Drop down the back knee, untuck those toes, and we're in our low lunge position on the other side. Again, front knee needs to be over the top of our ankle. We're going to send our hips forward and down. Inhale the arms up, pinky fingers in towards one another. Gaze comes towards the sky. Now, we're not rushing these stretches, and we're not rushing them because we don't really do them often enough. So we're going to take our time here. Hands come down. We're going to sit our hips over our knee, and then we're going to fold over that front leg, our left leg, whilst the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. So we're in our half split here. Drawing that left hip back into the body. Got some shaky leg going on here. Something's happening. Okay, we're going to come back forward into our low lunge. Get your positioning right. Inhale those arms up Pinky fingers rolling in, shoulders back and down, sink into the hips. You're doing really well, everyone. Hang in there. Hands come to the mat. We're going back into our half split again. Drawing that left hip back, leveling off the hips. Well done. This shaky foot's peculiar. Just got to hang in there. Okay. As we come forward, hands come down. We're going to send that left leg back. We're in our plank position again. Okay, nice and strong. We're going to inhale, our weight comes forward, and exhale, squeeze in those elbows, lower down, tuck the toes, and then pushing up through the mat. We're going to push up and shine our heart forward. Squeeze those glutes, protecting that lower back, really squeeze them. Great. Okay, we're going to come back down and we're heading into our downward facing dog. So here, just walk out the heels. Feel as you've got a little bit of mobility going in those hips. You've worked them hard already. Fantastic. Right, we're going to come to our tabletop position here, all right? We're going to keep our toes tucked because we're going to sit back onto our toes. Now, our toes are like the forgotten things of running. I mean, they do so much work, but we forget about them. So we're going to stretch through the toes. Now, this can be really intense. If it's too intense, take some weight into the hands, okay? And we're going to just enjoy, try and enjoy this stretch. So we're sitting up, and we're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Doing really well. 2 more breaths. Try and relax into it. Fantastic. Take that weight now into your hands and then just tap your feet out. Let the blood get back there. Super. Right, we're going to sit back onto our feet now. So we're going to lift up the shins, we're going to stretch through the ankles. So take some weight into the back of behind you through the hands. We're going to lift up those shins and we're going to smile. And we're going to take 5 long breaths here as well. Who's still smiling? 1 more breath. And slowly take the shins to connect to the mat. And we're just going to start to pad our feet out 1 more time. Lovely. Okay, we are going to go back into our downward facing dog. So tuck under the toes, send those hips high. Just going to pump out those feet a little bit, get some movement into the heels. And we're going to go into our pigeon pose. It's such a good hip opener, we can't forget it. So we're going to take our right knee behind our right wrist. Foot goes behind the left wrist. We want our shin parallel to the front of the mat. This is where blocks or cushions or anything you've got is really, really handy. So I'm going to stick a block under my right butt cheek so that I can keep my hips level as I sink down. Now you can stay here, okay? You can stay here and breathe into the stretch. Alternatively, if you want to come a little bit lower, walk your fingers forward and you can come to forearms, or you can create a lovely pillow and have a little rest down here.
So with every breath, almost breathe into that hip joint. Imagine it loosening up, relaxing, because that's what you want it to do. We carry an awful lot of stress and tension in our hips, and certainly for runners, we just don't really give it the time it needs to build flexibility. So this is a great posture for that. One more breath here. Okay, we're going to walk the hands back again. If you can, take out any blocks that are under you. We're going to tuck the left toes. We're going to send that right leg back. And then we're going to go into a three-legged dog. So we're going to send that right leg nice and high. Push that mat away. And then we're going to bring our heels down. And we're going to do it on the other side. Left knee behind left wrist, foot behind the right wrist. We want our shin parallel to the front of the mat. Send that block under the left butt cheek if you need to keep your hips level, okay? And then we're gonna sink down. So we're gonna inhale, lengthen, exhale, melt over that hip and come to rest here. We'll take a few slow breaths here and we'll send them to our hips to relax. One more breath here. And then we're going to walk those fingers back up, take away any blocks that are in the way. And then we're going to tuck under those right toes and we're going to go back into our downward dog. And we're going to lift that left leg lovely and high. Keep those hips level. And then we're going to just step out those heels. Perfect. Okay, we're going to come to rest on our knees. Now we're going to do one final pose before we finish off today, which is the Fountain of Youth. Now let's be honest, we could all do with a little bit of youth in our life. So we're going to lay back. You'll need a brick or you'll need a cushion or anything you've really got. We're going to lay back, keeping our neck and spine lovely and long. Okay. Well, this feels nice in itself. Okay. We're going to send our legs up. Okay. Now this can be quite a core workout in itself. So what I would recommend you do is just lift your bottom, place a brick underneath, and then it just becomes so much nicer. So this is a really fantastic recovery pose after a run. You can drain that lactic acid away. Makes you youthful. Well, it's called the Fountain of Youth. And you can just stay here, enjoy it. It's really nice to use a wall for support because then you're actually having to do less. Top secret. So we're just going to enjoy this for a moment or two. Then slowly bring those knees down, remove any blocks that are underneath you. Draw your knees in towards your chest, give them a really nice big cuddle. It's a nice place just to get a little bit of movement here as well. And then very slowly we're going to send our legs out long. Palms face up, and we're going to take our final Savasana here. So it's a really good idea to move out any annoying bits of clothing that have been bothering you or a stray hair that's been tickling your nose. Get rid of any distractions And then just take a moment here. We're going to work up the body in a body scan, so just close off the eyes. And we're going to start with the feet. Notice if there's any tension being held here. Breathe into them and send the feet down. Relax the ankles, wiggle the toes. Working up the back of the legs, all the way up to the hips. Feel the connection with the mat. Notice how it touches your calves, touches the back of your thighs. And your hips have worked really, really hard today. So we're going to send one lovely long breath into our hips as a show of appreciation for everything that they do for us. Working up the back, we get to the shoulders. Give your fingertips a little bit of a wiggle here. Notice how your elbows rest against the mat, how your shoulders are supported, and how your neck is long. Notice here whether your eyebrows are still furrowed, whether you're still scowling, and then try and breathe those eyebrows apart. Loosen off the jaw, smile. I'm going to take 2 long breaths here. And then gradually just wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingertips. Become present wherever you are now. And if you're ready, you can open up the eyes and bring yourself back up to seated position. I really hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope it's beneficial for you and your running. I hope to see you all again soon. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. It would be really fantastic and I would really appreciate it. See you soon.